Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. This is a very special video. We're 10 days away from the Bad Batch Season 3, and we do have a little bit of a segment coming up for it, but I can't get over the massive announcement that the Phantom Menace Episode 1 is being re-released on its 25th anniversary on the weekend of May 3rd. That's enormous. In a year so heavily focused on the prequel trilogy, and the build-up to the prequel trilogy, and this brings us on to our first topic, the Acolyte. We have a couple of pieces of exciting news. Confirmation that the trailer for that show and Skeleton Crew are ready to go, and it's just a matter of time until Star Wars releases them. In regards to Skeleton Crew, that's going to be later in the year after Halloween, but the Acolyte is sometime this summer. I imagine marketing on the show is going to start ramping up sometime next month in March, about 2 months out. I would say 2 months is a good estimate to start really pushing a brand new type of Star Wars series, like this. And today we have something of a tease, but it serves more as food for discussion about the nature of the upcoming Sith-oriented show. The editor-in-chief of Discussing Film made a very bold statement that, if true, could impact our perception of the way Star Wars shows have been made. Given anticipation for the next Star Wars live-action show is truly ramping up, with the topic trending on Twitter almost every single week. Star Wars fans have been discussing why they think the show is going to be one of the best things they've ever seen, or one of the worst things they've ever seen. Despite the fact we haven't even had a teaser trailer outside of Star Wars Celebration, fans are certainly opinionated. But one person who did catch the sneak peek in London has made a claim that when the show comes out, it will certainly be a Star Wars fan dream, especially for those who love lightsabers, Jedi and Sith adventures, and everything concerning the Force. But the most impressive claim that caught my attention was when he said that it has an even better production value than Andor, which is a very bold statement considering the Tony Gilroy Rogue One prequel is believed to have one of the best production values and quality on Disney+. When I retweeted this saying it's a very good sign, what became very apparent is the fact many fans who are apathetic towards the Acolyte aren't so much upset about the time period or Leslye Headland's comments, but rather the fact it's a Jedi-Sith show. While there are certainly many who are very excited, there are some who don't want more Jedi and Sith. And this divide in opinion reminded me of some of the debates during the Ahsoka show, where many fans of Andor were critical of the fantasy aspect of the show, while Ahsoka fans who are also Clone Wars and Rebels fans defended it. And of course you can be both. I just so happen to be a fan who falls into that category, and who believes that while the Force is a fundamental aspect of Star Wars, not every show has to revolve around it. That is what we mean when we say different flavours of Star Wars. Some fans are going to latch on to one over the other, and many are just happy to come along for the ride and enjoy all of it, the entire buffet, the whole 9 yards. I'm personally very optimistic for the Acolyte, more than I was in the past, but if there's one element of the upcoming series I want to learn more about, is how it looks visually. We've had a lot of teases from the likes of Leslye Headland, Amanda Stenberg, but when we get our first stills, our first poster, our first teaser trailer, we'll get a better idea of this so-called incredible production quality. But while we're on the subject of Andor, Season 2 has finished filming. Diego Luna confirmed this on Instagram with a very heartfelt post. On Friday night he wrote this: "Today is the last day of filming on Andor. I could not be more thankful to the entire crew for this amazing experience and the years of hard work. More than 700 people have worked on this production, and it's impossible to say goodbye and thank you to everyone individually. Thank you for the love and the wonderful experience. 2025 is going to be absolutely wild. We have Andor Season 2 and Star Wars Celebration in Japan." And so moving on my dear friends, Star Wars finally posted the teaser clip, which I broke down the other day. Originally it was IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes who had it, but now we have a full HD look. And we have confirmation this is taken from Episode 1, Confined. There are 3 episodes in the premiere on February 21st. But the main reason I'm bringing up this clip once again is because at the end of it, Star Wars have unveiled a new logo for the Bad Batch, one which has blood smearing all over it, implying that we're about to see an absolute massacre of clones. The uprising that many of us expect is the reason Captain Rex is going to retire. They're giving us every sign, and this one is blatant. But staying on the subject of the Bad Batch, Omega is on one of the variant issues of the Obi-Wan Kenobi comics on the 27th of March. It's one of various variant covers, which has nothing to do with the actual story, but the art is very impressive. And on the same day, on March 27th, we get a very sinister episode of the Bad Batch. Episode 9, The Harbinger, A Harbinger is someone who announces or signals something to come. And I'm going to make a very bold prediction. I think this episode concerns the mysterious, new version of the clone assassins we saw in Season 2. One of these that we see in the Season 3 trailer is called CX-1, and he seems to be giving a very dire warning. Is he the Harbinger? Warning clones like Rex, who may have helped him defect, Echo, Hunter and Wrecker, the nature of a dark secret that's about to emerge from Mount Tantis. And a major hint that points towards this foreboding theme are the names of the 2 episodes that come after it. Episode 10, Identity Crisis, and Episode 11, Point of No Return, Imperial Brainwashing, Brain Rewiring of some of the clones imprisoned on Wayland. There is a line from the teaser trailer from Star Wars Celebration that some Bad Batch fans were surprised was not in the clip they recently shared. This is where Crosshair is very dozy and he speaks the line, "I am not them." Could he be subject to an identity crisis, as Dr. Royce Hemlock prepares to remove their free will? This is something probably worse than a chip. They're being made into subservient soldiers, nothing more. I'm also starting to think that identity crisis could refer to the Crosshair clones, teased at the end of Season 2, an entire army of CT-9904s. His DNA was used for the template, and now he might be forced to command them. And in Episode 11, there is some kind of point of no return. So my prediction is it does concern a new prototype. And so finally, my dear friends, following the reveal of Empire Magazine's special look at the prequel trilogy, they now released a preview. Hayden Christensen with a fantastic photo, Hayden in the foreground, and the shadow of Darth Vader cast big behind him. It's reminiscent of the famous Phantom Menace poster, the one on Tatooine with Jake Lloyd as young Anakin. But Hayden has reflected on the way the prequels have changed, the fan perception. We've spoken about this ad nauseum. It seems to come up every few weeks. There are a few villains in cinema as iconic as Darth Vader, recognizable from the briefest glimpse of his distinct helmet, or the merest mechanical hiss of his respirator. Hayden talks about the dark times and the light, the years of criticism, and now how the fandoms embraced him. But even back then, he admits he knew George was doing something very special, even if fans at the time were quite short-sighted. In another preview, Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor say they were hurt by how fans responded to Ahmed Best and Jar Jar Binks. They defend both the actor and his character. Neeson said, quote, "Ahmed was so funny and inventive. Myself and Ewan were personally hurt and offended. Best did the voice and motion capture Jar Jar Binks. Critics and fans had a lot of negative things to say, but it's nice to see Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn defending him. More will be revealed on February 15th, when the full issue releases." The last one of these, Natalie Portman admits to worrying that Star Wars was going to ruin her career when looking back on her experience on episodes 1, 2 and 3. Obviously, it didn't, and she further acknowledges that Star Wars, quote, helped her grow up. The most significant news that came out of Empire Magazine is the re-release of The Phantom Menace for the 25th anniversary of the film. But with that said, my dear friends, share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.